Hey, this is Jody Roundhouse with the Roundhouse Report. Please subscribe. I had a request from one of my subscribers, DSM 5D, Fifth Dimensional Warfare. Huh? Um, I'm just gonna read the request, and then you can rewind it and listen to it again. I'm gonna try to make it short. My presentation, I tend to ramble, so I'm going to try to make it short. So his thing that I'm going to read, you can rewind it and then re-listen to it. I'm a little bit tired too, so a little bit confused anyhow. Okay, DSM-5D said, in terms of making a video for him, anything you know about recovery of mineral resources by Chinese companies of disposed or recycled devices, and how the U.S. can look to block a monopoly. New supplies will come from Africa, and the workforce might be at the expense of the current population. The gold-silver standard may be replaced with the stuff in crypto mining machines, and the earth will not stand for that. I'm not sure what you mean by that. That may be the unseen hand driving China's economy policy abroad. Hidden causes are always the worst tactical adversary, like swinging at ghosts. I like that analogy. That's cool. Okay. This has to deal with economic stuff that I'm not too well versed on that, but I do know a little bit about China's economic stuff, simply because of China's my main area of focus. I took some notes to try to streamline it, try to make it quicker, because the today's population, they don't like anything longer than like a minute. So, number one, China is known as an economic bully worldwide, and highly opportunistic with regard to any kind of disaster or any kind of need, like legitimate medical or like electrical grid needs of these poor, underdeveloped countries. Some small in Asia, but mostly in Africa, which you brought up, the minerals in Africa. They're bullies. The Chinese will invest or give a loan, to some small piece of crap country that we've never heard of that doesn't have like running electricity. They suck. So China gets them by the balls, so to speak, and they put pressure and pressure and pressure, I guess, to repay the loan. Again, this is the part of the nuances of economics I don't understand, but I'll do my best. They use that, hey, we gave you that grant of $50 million a few years ago. We want to cash in. Either you pay us or we, etc., ... whatever. So they're a bully. They're an economic bully, and they take advantage of the poor conditions of shitty countries, excuse my language, around the world. They just take advantage of them. They take advantage of small, undeveloped countries in Asia, especially in Africa, in order essentially to ensure that they can use their economic blackmail so that they can get whatever the rare minerals from Africa, which power the United States military and the society of the world, the developed world at large, relies on these rare finite minerals. Rare minerals that power our, say, our smart bombs, our precision guided weapons. We use a certain mineral that's very small in number here on Earth, and it's mined, and it's found there's mines in Africa, and the Chinese are taking advantage of it. And for the last 5 to 10 to 15 years, they've been systematically encroaching and mining these minerals and these resources that, again, are very finite. It's dangerous, and I really, really hope that the United States has taken proper precautions, because this stuff, without it, we can't have smart bombs as it stands now. We would have to figure out a new way to do it. They help our smart bombs. We use them in our cell phones. Without these minerals, we couldn't have cell phones. We'd have to figure out a different way to do it. So that's number 2. Number 3, asteroid mining. I don't know how familiar you are with this, but it's up and coming. Basically, the concept is we would land. It sounds far-fetched, but we're getting there. They're doing a lot of research and development. We would land a craft on an asteroid passing by, and it would mine it. Now, this asteroid, you know how dirt covers the Earth? You go outside, it's just dirt. You pick up handfuls of dirt. Well, imagine going onto an asteroid and picking up handfuls of gold. Their dirt is like gold. So it's like, it would be equivalent to like me taking a bag full of dirt and going to another world and having being one of the wealthiest people there with just having a little bag of dirt in my hand. Just reverse it. So diamonds would become worthless overnight, literally. Diamonds would become worthless conceivably. Silver, gold, the rare minerals, suddenly they're not rare at all. They're very much in abundance. Asteroid mining is really key in terms of longevity. 50 years, 100 years from now, these minerals will run out. So it's key that we're able to get them or find other ways around having to use them. And that could be hard to do. But, copper could conceivably become more expensive than gold. Copper could, you see what I'm saying. Cyber warfare makes internet cryptocurrency, which you mentioned, a little bit iffy. A little bit dangerous in my opinion. It's not regulated too well, to my understanding. But again, I can't really speak intelligently on the matter. It's just my opinion, and based on what I have read. There is a lot of gray areas regarding internet money. I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah, it's internet money. I know it's sold. I know people make money and stuff from it, but I don't know enough about it. I'm suspicious because it's based on the internet. What if the internet dies? Just imagine the internet being shut down. What happens now with regard to your internet money? See what I mean? I just don't trust it. I don't know. Another consideration to take into account, DSM. Mr. DSM, if I may call you that. Chinese troops are currently in Sudan and South Sudan guarding the oil fields that they are exploiting. Chinese troops are in Sudan, in Africa, and in South Sudan, and they're watching the oil fields, guarding their workers, Chinese workers. Not all Chinese workers, but the first foreign Chinese military base was dropped a couple of years ago, right at the entrance to the Suez Canal. Now so you can go from the Mediterranean through the Suez Canal in Egypt and then pop out into that way you don't have to go around Africa. It's vital. It is vital to the economic survivability of the world. The strategic, it's vital. The Suez Canal is vital. So they dropped, it's in a country called Djibouti. I don't know how to say it. The Djibouti? It's on the Horn of Africa. It sits right on the entrance to the Suez Canal. I've heard sources that the United States and France also have military contingents there. Again, I can understand why, because of the strategic importance of the Suez Canal. Even in times of war, if you need to surge ships across the world, you need the Suez Canal. Going underneath Africa is very dangerous. Cape of Good Hope or something. You'll die going through that. But anyhow, it's a strange scenario because, like I said, they chose the same country that we also have troops in. They could have chosen. There's several small little countries that line that up into the Suez Canal that they could have chosen. They just opened their first military base. Their first foreign military base inside of Africa, the country that they are using economic blackmailing and bullying tactics to take advantage of their profound poverty and low quality of life and low standard of living to mine these very rare finite minerals that we use in our everyday lives, whether you're a civilian or you're a general or you're a scientist, etc. The oil in Sudan and South Sudan and in other areas, they're scooping that up. They have troops there to guard there, and now they have an actual base, northeast of that area, east, northeast of that area. So I guess as a quick reaction force, I don't really know. Let's see here. China's current situation, though, is not very good. It's losing the trade war. Its economy's hurting. The coronavirus broke out. Its economy's hurting even more because of speculation. On top of the speculation hurting their stock market, they are literally tens of thousands of workers aren't filling up these factories daily like they have been because of the coronavirus. Tens of thousands. So in addition to speculation investment dropping, they literally don't have people to make the products that they sell. The factories are empty right now. By the way, I should date this. It's Friday, April 21st, 1:23 p.m. So I'm just going to list these off really quick. The trade war, China, a lot of top economists have been saying for years that China's growth is great, but that they had problems. An increasing housing bubble crisis, kind of like what the U.S. had, 2006, 7, 8, so organically, and then the coronavirus, and then the trade war, and then I wrote it down here. Hang on a second. The trade war, the housing bubble, the homes that were built on spec. You have whole gated communities. They're ghost towns. They're bizarre. YouTube them. They're really weird. So organic reasons for their poor economy, external reasons for their poor economy. They're not doing good. They've never been challenged like this in just simply the trade war, let alone all these things forming a perfect storm. Hong Kong, North Korea issues, the trade war, the South China Sea, which they now control, fait accompli. They control. That's now their territory essentially. We're still doing freedom of navigation. But the only way to get rid of those fake militarized islands that they built throughout the South China Sea is to go to war. They're not going to just dismantle them. So, fait accompli. It's going to get to the point where we stop doing naval exercises through there. 10 years, 15 years. Hong Kong, they have the concentration camps in the west where they're rounding up well over 1 million, I think, Uyghurs? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but they're like they're slightly different ethnically, and they're Muslim, and they're in Western China. They did the knife attacks on elementary schools. Really weird. All the things that I've just told you regarding their economy, because your economy, everything springs from that. The economy is going to affect their military. The economy is going to affect their power projection, both economically, both in terms of economic power, military power, and cultural soft power. All of these things are affected profoundly. The coronavirus right now, and the way that Beijing has handled it, now the world is they already didn't trust China. Now they're pissed at China because now people are somebody died in France yesterday. It's like, what the fuck? Excuse my language. Xi Jinping, the president of China, the dictator, had he just taken a little bit more, if he was just a little bit more prudent and didn't try to hide everything, people wouldn't be as pissed. But as it stands, things are trying to be hidden. Here's my lighter. I found it. So when you look at all these scenarios right now, this is not a good time for China. This might be like everybody thought that this is the 21st century was China's century. But when you spell out everything I just did, and I didn't really get into really that much detail on any one of these topics, I could make a big video on each one. Take all these together, 2020, it's Friday, April 21st, 2020. Take all of them together, all happen at the same time. In Hong Kong, North Korea, trade war, coronavirus, the concentration camps in the West, Taiwan and China have been bickering, as always, but it's reached higher levels. This very well, no one really knows yet, but this very well may set China back a decade, or it may set them back like a generation in terms of cultural and societal and potentially even military and economic development. This might set them back a century or a generation. But things are way too fluid right now. Literally, I don't know if this has ever been seen in modern history or, literally right now, every spot of the globe it is like a tinderbox. Literally. Central and South America, you have the cartels, which at this point are basically standing armies, but the main issue is the Syrian, Russian, Iranian influence in Venezuela. Big issue. And then Brazil. Something could pop off there. I doubt it. I'm just saying scenarios of like the kindling has been laid, and we just need to put it, well, this. And then boom, there's, so yeah, this South America, there's an issue. I don't even have to say, Asia. I mean, China took over the South China Sea. North Korea, the United States are bashing, running from Japan down through the Philippines, down to Australia. That's a hot box, or that's a tinder box. The Middle East, that's always a tinder box. And even Europe, post-World War II Europe, now with this gray zone warfare spearheaded by Putin, another dictator who wants the USSR back, there could be a war in Europe. I mean, it's all over the world. And in Africa, North Africa is already at war in Libya, but it's at militia level. It's not full-scale conventional war, but conceivably something in Africa as well. So it's like every spot in the world right now, usually it's just one or two spots. Right now it's everywhere. Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, even Australia in some ways with regard to how they treat migrants and refugees trying to come in. But that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother issue. But I hope that this answered your question. I know I'm hitting, where am I at on the marker? 17 minutes. If anybody's watching at this point, just put a period in the comment box and hit enter. And if I see that period, I'm going to have a lot of respect that you actually sat through 17 minutes of my ass rambling. So comment if you actually watch this. I doubt anybody's watching this. DSM-5D, you requested this. I'm not sure what you meant when you said that the Earth, that you said the gold silver standard may be replaced with the stuff in crypto mining machines, and the Earth will not stand for that. I don't know what you mean by the Earth will not stand for that. And then I also don't understand what you mean by that may be the unseen hand driving economic policy abroad. What may be the unseen hand? Again, I don't know a lot about cryptocurrency. I can't really speak to it that much. You clearly know a lot more than me. I'm just trying. I only know about what I know. That's why it's like you were probably racking your brain, because it's like I don't really want to ask him to make a video about war. Or what I'm going to ask him. So he knows about cryptocurrency, and he talked about Africa, and we managed to tie that in to make this video, the latest installment of the Roundhouse Report, 18 minutes. And please subscribe, please share, please hit me up on minds.com/Jody with a Y, Roundhouse. You can hit me up there, and it's actually cold where I live right now, which is really good. But anyhow, yeah, keep your eyes out. This is a very interesting time. If there is going to be a major war, it's going to be in the Middle East. In terms of the immediate future, in the foreseeable future, there will be a war in 5 to 10 years, in my prediction, with China. I believe within 5 to 10 years, there will be some kind of war with China, whether a 5-day flash conflict or a total war, I don't know. But I think some kind of military conflict with China is inevitable within 5 to 10 years. Roundhouse Report out. DSM, leave a comment. Let me know if I answered or if I just made it more confusing. I'm just rambling. All right, buddy. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you watching, man. If you can get your buddies to watch, I'd appreciate it. I need a few more subscribers. All right, guys. See ya.